Now we are going to study basic theory. Just have a look at the. So everyone, give the heading basic theory. Everyone, give the heading basic theory. These are the few concepts that we are going to study now. Is useful in every chapter, in every upcoming chapters, guys, of the naval architecture. So now I'm going to draw one basic longitudinal view of the ship. Just observe the scenario here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to draw one basic longitudinal view of the ship. Just imagine that this is what a basic longitudinal view of the ship. Now here I'm going to, so this figure indicate what this figure indicate? This figure indicate what we will say longitudinal view. Means what is the meaning of longitudinal view? In ship there are total 3 directions. First one, this is along the length, that is longitudinal direction. Along the width is a transverse direction, and third one is what? Vertical direction, from keel to deck, that is vertical direction. See, one direction, that is longitudinal direction. Then from port to starboard or starboard to port, that is along the width. Here along the length. Along the length means longitudinal. Along the width means what? Transverse direction. And then keel to deck or deck to keel, vertical direction. So these are the 3 directions we are going to see. We will see. I will explain you all these things. So this is what a longitudinal view of the ship. Now try to see the scenario here. What I am going to show here. Now I am going to show. So the line, this line indicate what, guys? What this line indicate? This line indicate water line, guys. WL stand for what? A little bit small. So WL indicates what? Water line. So I will write down here for our reference. What is the meaning of WL? So what is the meaning of WL? WL means what? WL means what? Water line. Guys, try to understand the meaning of each and every word. Then try to understand the scenario here. Here, suppose somewhere here we have a rudder, and through the rudder, guys, somewhere we have a rudder. Through the center line of the rudder, there is one line is going to pass. This vertical line is going to pass. Guys, observe. Let me check, is it a vertical line or not? Let me proper vertical. Through the center line of the rudder, there is one line is going to pass. From where? Through the center line of the rudder, one line is going to pass, and that line is nothing but called AP. This line is called AP, and AP is, so let me make it is a little bit dotted here, dotted AP. And what is meant by AP? AP means what? What is the meaning of AP? AP means aft perpendicular, that is aft side of the ship. Aft side means back side. So aft perpendicular. AP stand for what? Aft perpendicular, or we will say after perpendicular. Try to see the meaning of each and every word. So we got the meaning of AP. Then after AP, try to understand the scenario. Then after AP, the line, this is what a forward portion of the ship, and this is what a water line. Then line which passes through this forward portion. Guys, observe the line which passes from where? From the forward portion of the ship. Let me check it, is it a vertical line or not. I have some reference line from where I can easily understand is it a vertical or not. So it is a properly vertical. Let me shift into the regular view. So this line denote what? What this line denote? This line denote what, guys? This line denote FP. The line which passes through the water line. See this one. Now the line which passes through what? Let me write down FP properly. The line, what I am doing, FP. Now what is meant by FP? FP is the line which passes through the forward portion of the ship. This forward portion and water line, it wherever it intersect, forward portion and water line wherever it intersect, from that point what is going to pass? FP is going to pass, and that FP we will say it as a word forward perpendicular. What is the meaning of FP? FP means forward perpendicular. See the scenario. What is meant by first of all water line? I will explain water line once again. I have not explained water line. Below this line, below this water line, what was there? Below this water line, observe the scenario. Below this water line, what was there? Below this water line, water is there. That is meant by water line. So this portion of the ship, this hatching portion, I am showing here. This hatching portion, guys, observe carefully the portion that currently I am doing hatching. This portion is what? Here in this portion, what was there? Water is displaced there. In this portion, what was there? Water is going to displace. So from this portion, what was there? Water is going to displace, means that is water displaced portion. So below the water line, water is displaced. I will explain all these things. So water displaced means what? What is meant by water displaced? Water displaced means here earlier water was there before the ship. Now ship has taken the place of water. So here from this portion below this water line, the space occupied by the ship has taken the place of what? Water. So that's why here water is displaced, means water displaced from this place, guys. So that is water displaced portion. And here we are looking at the longitudinal view. So you got the overall meaning of water line. WL means below this line water was there, and the portion of the ship means below this line water was there. So water line. Now, so we have seen water line, we have seen AP. Now the next point is what? FP. FP stand for what, guys? What is the meaning of FP? FP stand for what? Forward perpendicular. What is the meaning of FP? FP stand for what? Forward perpendicular. Now the next, the most important point is what? Midship. But before that, I want to explain you a few more things. 1 minute, let me shift. Now the most important point. Here see, the distance between AP and FP. What is the distance between AP and FP? The distance between AP and FP will be what, guys? The distance between AP and FP will be what? Length of the ship. For us, length of the ship means what? Distance between. What is the meaning of length of the ship for us? Length of the ship means what? Distance between AP and FP. What is the meaning of length of the ship? Distance between. See, this is not overall length. For us, length of the overall length between this forward portion and this aft portion. But overall length means forward part of the ship, exactly forward, somewhere here. We'll mark somewhere here, and somewhere here, so that extreme-most fiber, extreme-most forward portion and extreme-most aft portion. So that is meant by overall length. But for us, naval architecture point of view, length of the ship is what? L. Now exactly in between AP and FP, we will have what? One line is there. Exactly in between what? Exactly in between AP and FP. Guys, observe this line. Exactly where? In between AP and FP, and that line I will make it as a what? A dotted line. Observe this dotted line exactly in between, and that line we will say it as a midship. So this line is what this line indicate? This line indicate midship or amidship. So here, how to draw the amidship symbol? A circle inside one semicircle. Let me draw it properly. One semicircle like this, and another proper symbol, guys. A circle, one semicircle, another semicircle. So that is what our amidship. So here, try to understand the scenario here. Let me draw this amidship symbol. I have not drawn properly. One circle. So this side one. So this is what? A midship or amidship. So exactly in between. Means exactly in between means what? From here to here. Guys, observe. From here to here, length is what? From here to here, length is what? L by 2. Then from here to here, again length is what? From here to here, again length is what? L by 2. So that is what? So exactly in between. That means from here to here, length L by 2, and from here to here, again length L by 2. Now, so what is this symbol means what? What is the meaning of this symbol? What is the meaning of this symbol? 1 minute, I am not writing properly. Let me. So circle, this side one semicircle, another side another semicircle. So meaning of this symbol is what, guys? What is the meaning of this symbol? Midship or what? Amidship. Sometimes we say midship, sometimes we may say amidship. So this is what? And here this bottommost portion. So this bottommost portion, what we will say? This bottommost portion we will say keel of the ship. Now the next point, from this bottommost point, what we are going to draw? We are going to draw one dotted line. So here I am going to draw one dotted line. Guys, observe the scenario here carefully. Don't just listen my words carefully. So here observe. So the distance from here to here, this distance from waterline to keel, that vertical distance is what we will say draft of the ship. What we will say? D. D stand for what? What is the meaning of D? D stand for what? Draft of the ship. Draft in meter. What is the meaning of D? D means what? Draft of the ship. So before going further, guys, everyone, what you have to do? Do this heading basic theory if you are not given. After this heading, what you have to do? After this heading, what you have to do? What you have to do, guys? You have to draw this longitudinal view of the ship. Everyone, before going further, you have to draw a longitudinal view of the ship. Try to draw this view properly. So please everyone, before going further, try to draw the longitudinal view of the ship. Now, after drawing the longitudinal view, what you have to do? The next target, what you have to do? Write down this discussion. Write down this discussion of the all this. What is the meaning of WL? What is the meaning of AP, FP, midship, amidship, and draft? So please everyone, write down this discussion. Now after this, what we are going to see? So here we have seen longitudinal view of the ship. What we have seen here? Here we have seen longitudinal view of the ship. Now after the longitudinal view, longitudinal means what? Along the length. So here on this view we can see the length of the ship. Now the second view of the ship that we are going to see, that is a transverse view of the ship. Now what is the meaning of transverse view? This is along the length. So transverse view means what? Transverse view means what? We are observing the ship from where? Just imagine from this forward direction. So from here we will observe the ship. What we are going to do? We are going to observe the ship from forward side and forward side, guys. So from here, from this side we are going to observe the ship, and the visible view of the ship is, we will say, transverse view of the ship, guys. So here along the length, transverse view from port side to starboard side, guys. Here aft to forward or forward to aft. In this view we can show. In transverse view, what we can see? In transverse view, what we can see? Port to starboard or starboard to port. Guys, observe the scenario. Very simple discussion, not just some person in the front of the ship, and just imagine that some person is here. Some person is here and he is looking the ship from the forward side. And whatever the, for him, the ship visible, that is what a transverse view. Means if the person stands side by of the side of the ship and observing the ship from the side, then longitudinal view. If the person stand in the forward, then that will be what? Forward side. So now guys, try to see the scenario here, what we have to do and how we are going to approach the guys further. Try to understand the scenario here, what we have to do and how we are going to approach. So here I am going to draw the transverse view. And how the transverse view? Some person is standing in front of the ship and observing the ship from the front. Some person is here, some XYZ person is here and he is observing the ship from the front. And whatever the view visible to that particular person, we will say it as a transverse view of the ship. So in that view, we can show easily port side, starboard, means along the width. Longitudinal, some person stand side, one side, okay, either port side or starboard side. Some person is standing beside the ship in the side, on the side, port side, and he observing the ship. So he will get a longitudinal view of the ship along the length. And the next view that we are going to study is a transverse view. So now try to see the scenario and observing the person from where? That person is observing the ship from this side. That is meant by what? A transverse view. Guys, observe this thing. So here some person is observing the ship from this side. So now here, so this is what a transverse view of the ship. Now observe, in transverse view, here we are going to show what? Water line. How we denote water line? We denote water line by what? WL. How we are going to denote water line? We are going to denote water line by what? WL. Water line we are going to denote by what? A WL. Guys, observe the scenario. Very, very simple discussion. Let me draw this drawing more proper way so that we will get more concepts. Now it is much better view as compared to previous. So here this is what our water line. What is the meaning of water line? Below this line, water is there, and this portion I am going to show, this hatching portion. Just observe what I am going to show. I am going to show what? This hatching portion. This portion denote what? What this portion denote? This portion denote water displace. What is the meaning of water displace? Means earlier in this portion, before the ship coming, the water was there, and this place of water is now taken by the ship. So here water is displaced by the ship. In this portion, what is happening? What is there? Water is, so water displaced. So what this view denote, guys? What this view denote? This figure denote transverse view. What this view denote? This view denote transverse view. Now on this transverse view, what are the things we can show? Means along the breadth of the ship, the transverse view, some person is observing the ship from where? Suppose this is a longitudinal view of the ship. Just imagine that this is a longitudinal view, and some person is observing the ship from where? That person is observing the ship from the front side. That is, so here try to understand the scenario, what we have to do and how we are going to approach the things further. So this is water. Now, so this is water transverse view of the ship. Now what are the things we can show on this transverse view? First of all, this vertical line. Guys, observe. This vertical line denote center line. What this vertical line denote? This vertical line denote center line. And how we are going to draw the center line? So here bigger line, smaller line, bigger line, smaller line, bigger line, smaller line, bigger line, smaller line, bigger line, smaller line. So, and how we denote center line? How we denote? L. Inside L, some small c is there. Guys, I am drawing once again so that you will get a proper understanding how to denote center line. L, and inside L there will be what? A C. So that will be what? A center line. So here L and C. So that is meant by center line. Guys, observe the scenario. So that is what? A center line. Huh? So this is what? A center line of the ship. So center line, what is the speciality of center line? The line exactly passing through the center, guys. Huh? Observe. Means, and what is the speciality? The line which is exactly passing through the center, and ship is symmetrical about center line. Means this side. Suppose just imagine that this is what? A port side. This is what? A starboard side. So ship is exactly symmetrical about center line. Means whatever the portion on port side, same must be on the starboard side. Means port side portion and starboard side portion must be mirror image of each other. What must be about the center? What is the speciality of center line? So about the center line, port side portion and starboard side portion must be what? Mirror image of each other. Port side portion and starboard side portion must be what? Mirror image of each other. Try to understand point. Very, very simple discussion. Not that much difficult discussion. So here, now what are the other things that other than center line, what are the other things what we can show? See, I told you in longitudinal view we can along the length. So here we have shown length easily. In transverse view, what we can show? We can show the breadth. So here from this point I am going to draw one dotted line. Observe the things carefully. What I am going to do from this point, I am going to draw one dotted line. Simple discussion, guys. Very simple point that we are learning. You may know all these things, just we need all these concepts in our upcoming discussion. That's why I am explaining you all these things. If you know all these things, you can skip this portion also, or you can fast forward this portion while watching this lecture. So sometimes learning all these basic concepts you may feel boring. Don't worry. Feeling a boring things is not a don't worry about that one. Sometimes learning a lot of theory you may feel boring. So you can, there is an option will be there. You can fast forward and you can see that portion in little bit higher speed. So now, so from here, what we can show, guys, here on this view. So what this denote? From here to here, what this denote? This denote what? A breadth of the ship. What this denote? This denote what? Breadth of the ship. B stand for what? Breadth of the ship. Now from here we are going to draw another dotted line. Just observe. From here we are going to draw another dotted line, and then this will be what, guys? This will be what? A D. What is meant by this? This is meant by what? D. D stand for what? Draft. Okay, so this is meant by D, we have shown. So now I am going to write down the meaning of each and every symbol. The symbol meaning is what? Center line. Then B stand for what? What is the meaning of B? B means what? Breadth of the ship. What is the meaning of B? B means what? Breadth of the ship in meter. So here we have shown, we studied how to draw the transverse view. Transverse view means what? Some person is observing the ship from the forward side, and whatever the view visible to that particular person, that view we will see it as a transverse view. And in transverse view, what is there? We can show the center line. The speciality of center line is what? Ship is symmetrical about center line. Symmetrical about means what? Whatever the portion left side and whatever the portion right side of the center line, it is a mirror image of each other. Mirror image means whatever the portion left side means both side, the right side means starboard side, they must be what, guys? Mirror image of each other. And this is what? A water displace. Why we are saying water displace? Because before the ship, in this portion water was there. Now ship has taken the place of the water. Ship has taken the place of water. So here from this place, from this below the water line, this portion that hatching I am showing, the hatching I am showing, in this portion the water was displaced, means water is displaced from this portion. Guys, see this word displaced word, we have a lot of importance in naval architecture. We will see our upcoming discussion what is the importance of this portion. So this portion is what? So water displaced. So here, and the next thing that we have shown, this is water breadth, this is water draft. So we studied all these things. We have seen center line, water line, breadth, draft. So now guys, before going further, what you have to do? You have to draw this transverse view of the ship and try to draw this figure properly, guys. So everyone, before going further, please draw this transverse view of the ship. It is easy to understand. So please everyone, draw this transverse view. Now after drawing this transverse view, write down this discussion of center line and write down this breadth. So in this way, what we have seen? We have seen transverse view of the ship. Now the next important point that we are going to see, water plane area. What is the next important point? Water plane area. Now how to denote water plane, means what is meant by water plane area? See guys, this is very important point to understand what is meant by water plane area. Water plane area means what, guys? What is the meaning of water plane area? Try to understand the scenario. Try to understand the scenario. What is meant by water plane area? Just imagine that we are removing, this is water. Just imagine that, guys, this is not imagine, this is what our water line. This is what our water line. And what we are going to do? We are going to remove this portion. Guys, observe, observe. We are going to remove the portion which is what? Above the water line. Guys, what we are going to do? Portion of the ship. What we are going to do? We are going to remove this portion. What we are going to do? We are going to remove that portion which is what? Which is above the water line. Guys, observe. We have removed the portion of the ship which is above the water line. So this portion, guys, just imagine that. What we did? What we are going to do? We are going to remove the portion of the ship which is what? Above the water line. We are going to remove. And if you observe the ship from where? We are going to observe the ship from where? If you observe the ship from the top, then whatever the view. So this portion, guys, this portion. So now try to see the scenario here. So we are removing this portion. So what we are going to do? We are going to remove the portion which is above the water line, and we are observing this portion, guys, and this one, that we are observing this portion from where? We are observing this portion from the top. Just imagine that we have removed this top portion. What we are going to do? We are going to remove this top portion. We are going to remove this top portion. Observe the scenario. Very simple discussion. We are going to remove this portion. So this top portion which is above the water line, and we are observing from where? We are observing from the top. And whatever the view, this view, guys, this water line view, whatever the plane that is visible to us, that plane is nothing but the what? Water plane. That plane which is visible to us, that is meant by water plane, and area of the water plane is what? Water plane area. Guys, everyone getting my point? Try to understand. Very simple discussion. See, I am explaining you once again so that you will get a more detailed understanding of this portion. See, what we are going to do? The portion which is above this water line, this one that I have highlighted in yellow, that is what? Our water line. Water line, below this water line, water is there. So, and we are going to remove the top portion, which is portion. We are going to remove the portion of the ship, top portion, and we are observing the ship from where? We are observing the ship from the top side. What we are going to do? We are going to observe the ship from the top side after what, guys? After removing this portion. Means after removing this portion, we are observing from where? We are observing from the top, and that is meant by, if you observe from the top, guys, if you observe from where? If you observe from the top, what does we come to know that? Oh, we will, a plane which is visible to us, guys, this plane, on this view it is just like a single line. The plane which is visible to us from the top, that plane is nothing but the what, guys? Water plane. This portion. If you observe this portion from the top, that plane is nothing but a what? Water plane, guys. Observe the simple discussion, guys. Not that much difficult. And that is meant by what? Our water plane. So how to show that water plane on this view, guys? Here. How to show the water plane, guys? Very simple discussion. Not that much difficult discussion. How to show the water plane from the top, guys? Observe the scenario here. I am showing water plane here. So here I am going to draw on that water plane. The speciality of water plane is what? That water plane is symmetrical about center line. So here I am showing the center line. So this is what? Our center line. And how to denote that center line, guys? Bigger line, then smaller line. Bigger line, smaller line. Bigger line, smaller line. So in this way we are going to denote water line. And I told you, what I told you, the speciality of center line is what, guys? Speciality of the center line is what? Ship is always symmetrical about center line. So here what we are going to do? We are going to draw the view of the ship, guys. Observe, huh? Very simple discussion, not that much difficult discussion. So here I am going to show the water plane area. 1 minute, let me show properly, guys. Sometimes my drawing is not up to the mark, but you have to draw the drawing properly. So here this is water on one side of the water plane area. What I am going to do? I am going to draw the line. What I am going to do? I am going to draw the line exactly like this, guys. Exactly like this, but mirror image of this one. Not proper. Let me try once again. So okay, it is up to the mark. So now what is the speciality of this line, guys? What is the speciality of this line? What is this one? Water. So this line denote what, guys? This line denote water plane area. Guys, observe. This line denote what? This figure denote what? Water plane area. So what is the speciality of water plane area? This water plane area is symmetrical about what? This center line. Means this portion, just imagine that this is a port side portion. Just imagine that this is a port side. This is water. Just imagine that this is water port side and this is water starboard side. This water line, this water plane is symmetrical about this water plane. This is what a water plane. This water plane is symmetrical about center line. Symmetrical about center line means what? Port side, whatever the portion on the port side, same must be on the starboard side. Here we are going to show, we can show few things. What are the few things that we can show, guys, here? So this is what are the things that we can show? We can show what this line denote. This line denote, can anyone tell me? Just guess it, guys. This line denote what? AP, or perpendicular. See, guys, what we are doing? We are observing the ship from where? From the top. So that bottom upside portion is what? Up perpendicular, that line. And here we can show. So this line, 1 minute, let me draw it properly, guys, so that you can view the things in proper format. In mechanics, in naval, we took lot of times, in mechanics also. In here we are spending a lot of times on a drawing. Wherever it is possible, guys, try to draw the drawing. It gives a good impression, and spend some good amount, try to draw the drawing properly, guys. So you have to draw the drawing in less time. You have to do the practice. So this forward portion, that this forward line denote what, guys? What this denote? FP stand forward perpendicular, we have seen. And exactly in between them, the line which is passes, guys, exactly in between them, the line which is passes, what this line we will say? This line is what? Midship. What this line denote? This line denote midship. So try to see the scenario here. Very simple discussion, guys, not that much difficult discussion. So here, from here to here, this distance will be what? From here to here, this distance will be what, guys? Length of the ship. And then from here to here, this distance will be what? L by 2, that is exactly midship. And this distance also what, guys? This distance is also what? L by 2. So this is what this figure denote, guys? Tell me, what is this figure denote? This figure denote water plane. And that area of water plane, we will say water plane area. And how we denote water plane area? We denote water plane area by what? By which symbol we denote water plane area? A suffix W. So AW means what? Area of water plane. What is mean by AW? Area of water plane in what? Meter square. A, how we denote, guys? A suffix W. How we denote? A suffix W, that is mean by area of water plane. So guys, before going further, what you have to do? Just draw this figure, guys. So everyone, before going further, just draw this figure. This figure denote water plane area. Please everyone, draw this figure. So in this way, we have seen different views of the ship. What we have seen, guys, in this way, we have seen different views. So here we have seen longitudinal view, then we have seen transverse view, and at the end, this is what our water plane, guys. So, and always try to draw the figure properly, guys. Now the next point that we are going to study is a displacement. So what is the next point that we are going to study? So everyone give the next heading. Displacement. And displacement we denote by which symbol, guys? Delta. How we denote displacement? We denote displacement by which symbol? We denote displacement by this symbol, that is meant by delta, guys. Now what is meant by displacement? Displacement means what? What is meant by displacement? See, in mechanics displacement has a different meaning, guys. Listen my words carefully. What is in mechanics displacement means? Those who studied mechanics, for them displacement shortest distance between 2 points, that is meant by displacement in terms of mechanics. But naval has a different meaning of displacement, guys. Now first of all, before going further, we have seen, guys, few minutes before we have seen water displace this portion, guys. This portion, observe this portion. What this portion denote, guys? Tell me. What this portion denote? This portion, this hatching denote water displace, guys. Observe the scenario. What is this portion denote? This portion denote water displace, means the place of water here. Earlier, initially in this place water was there, but after when ship comes to this place, this water portion, the place of water is displaced from this portion, guys. Listen my words carefully. What is there? What is happening? Water is displaced. Water is displaced from this portion, and the place of water is taken by what? The place of water is taken by the ship. Now one important instruction for you guys, and one important assumption of the naval architecture. In entire naval architecture, while studying this naval architecture subject, our assumption is that our ship is what? Floating ship. What is our important assumption in naval architecture? Our important assumption in naval architecture is what? Our ship is what, guys? Floating ship. What is ship? Ship is floating. Now why it is important, guys? Because the point that we are going to study, for that purpose it is important, guys. Otherwise that thing is not true. So now we are studying what is meant by displacement. So displacement means what? What is the meaning of displacement? In naval architecture, meaning of displacement means what? Mass of vessel or mass of, see guys, see how much amount of water is going to displace from this portion? How much amount of water is going to displace? Guys, according to Archimedes principle, for the floating vessel, guys, according to Archimedes principle, for the floating vessel, whatever the mass of vessel, same amount of water is going to displace. Guys, see the wording. Whatever the mass of vessel, so for the floating vessel, for the floating object, whatever the mass of that particular object, the same amount of water is going to displace. So whatever this mass, so the mass of water displace, whatever the mass of the vessel, guys, whatever the mass of this vessel, the same amount of water is going to displace from this portion, guys. What is happening? The same amount of water is going to displace. Means suppose vessel mass is 1 ton, not 1 ton, guys, generally vessels are big ton. So suppose mass of vessel is what? 10,000 ton. Just imagine that. Okay, sometimes 50,000 ton, 60,000 ton. So mass of vessel is what? Just imagine that. Mass of vessel is what? 10,000 ton. If mass of vessel is 10,000 ton, the same amount of water is going to displace. Guys, see the wording. For the floating vessel, then only vessel will float. Otherwise, vessel will not float. Guys, getting my point? Try to understand the scenario. Don't worry, I will explain you a few more concepts in our upcoming discussion. So, what is meant by displacement? So now, guys, what is meant by? Try to understand the scenario here. So everyone. So now, why we are saying displacement? So what is meant by displacement? We will try to see the scenario. So here, how much? Whatever the mass of vessel, same amount of water, same mass, whatever the mass of vessel, same amount of mass of water is going to displace. So now displacement. So what is displacing? What is displacing? Water is displacing. Whatever the mass of vessel, same amount of water is going to displace. So what is meant by, so that's why these terms come. Displacement, water is displacing. And how much amount of water is displacing? It is equivalent to mass of vessel. How much amount of water is going to displace? What will be the mass of that water displaced? That mass of water displaced this portion from here. We are displacing the mass, guys. So this hatching portion denote what, guys? This hatching portion. What this hatching portion? So we are displacing the water. So how much amount of water? How much amount of water we are going to displace? Mass of equal to mass of vessel. So what is meant by displacement then? Displacement in nothing but what? Mass of vessel, guys. So for us, what is the meaning of displacement, guys? Displacement means what? What is the meaning of displacement? We denote displacement by what? Delta. Displacement will have a two meaning. One meaning means what? Mass of vessel, guys. Mass of vessel. We generally denote that mass in ton. And another meaning of displacement means what? What is the another meaning of displacement? Mass of water displaced. What is the another meaning of displacement? Mass of water displaced. So for floating vessel, always remember that whatever the mass of vessel, same amount of water is going to displace here. So here we have what? Here we have what? A displacement. And in naval architecture, what is our favorite unit of mass? In naval architecture, our favorite unit of mass is what? A ton. What is the favorite unit of mass? Our favorite unit of mass is what? A ton. Now try to see the scenario. We are trying to understand the meaning of displacement. So in throughout naval architecture, what is the meaning of displacement? Displacement means what? Mass of vessel or mass of water displaced. And what is our important assumption in naval architecture? Our vessel is what? A floating vessel. What is the important assumption in naval architecture? Our vessel is what? A floating vessel. So now try to understand all these concepts, guys. Very, very simple concepts, guys. Not that much difficult. So now try to understand my point here. Very much simple point. So we have seen what is the meaning of displacement. See, if you remember our basic discussion of the density, guys. What is the basic meaning of density, guys? What is the basic definition of density? We denote density by which symbol? We denote density by, we will write down this one also so that it should be with you. What is the basic? We denote density by what? Rho. And density is equal to what, guys? Rho will be equal to what? Mass by volume. Mass per unit volume. So mass by what? Volume. So if you need a mass will be equal to what? Density into volume. Guys, try to see the scenario here. Now we have seen what is the meaning of displacement. Displacement means what? Mass of water displaced. Guys, see what is the meaning of displacement. We have seen mass of water displaced. Now, so here this portion, so whatever they see, so in another relation, so what is the relation? Another relation, see the guys, what is the basic relation of density? We have seen density is equal to what? Mass by volume. What is the relation of density? We have seen mass by volume. So mass is equal to what? Density into volume. So if we need a mass of water displaced, if we need a relation of what, guys? Mass of water displaced, mass of water displaced. So mass of water displaced will be what, guys? Density of water. Mass is equal to what? Density into volume. So mass is equal to what? Density into volume. Just now we have seen. So mass of water displaced will be equal to what? Density of water displaced into what, guys? Volume of water displaced. Very simple discussion. Volume of what? Volume of water displaced. So in this way, what we will get? So in this way, what we will get, guys? We will get mass of water displaced. So mass of water displaced means what? Our displacement, that is delta, and delta will be equal to what, guys? Density of water into what? And how we denote volume of water displaced? By using this symbol. See guys, so mass of water displaced means what? Delta, and that mass will be equal to rho, that is density, into volume of water displaced. So meaning of this symbol is what guys? What is the meaning of this symbol? Okay, we'll make it in box. We need this relation throughout naval architecture, and displacement must be in ton. So where we will write down meaning of each and every symbol. So rho water is what guys? Density of water, and density of water must be in what guys? See, in naval architecture mass is in ton, so density must be in what? Ton per meter cube guys. What is the unit of density? Ton per meter cube. In naval architecture, throughout naval architecture, what is our favorite unit of density? Our favorite unit of density is what? Ton per meter cube. And what is the meaning of this symbol guys? Can you tell me? Just now we have seen. Just guess it guys. Just guess it. Meaning of this symbol. Meaning of this symbol is what? Volume of water displaced. What is the meaning of this symbol? Meaning of this symbol is what? Volume of water displaced. And can you guess unit of volume guys? Unit of volume is what? Meter cube. So for us, meaning of delta is what? This inverse delta. So volume of water displaced means volume of water displaced means what guys? See this drawing. That's why this drawing is very, very important to us. This portion, that hatching portion guys, this one. This portion denote what? What this hatching portion? I'm going to highlight in this yellow. Guys, see this, the portion that I am highlighting in yellow. This portion is what? What is this portion denote? This portion denote what? Water displaced guys. Observe the scenario here. Very simple discussion. Not that much difficult discussion. So this portion, that portion that we are highlighting, I have highlighted in yellow, is what? Water displaced guys. So now we have seen, we try to understand the meaning of what guys? We try to understand the meaning of displacement. So what is the meaning of displacement guys? Displacement means what? Mass of, what is the meaning of displacement? Displacement means, displacement has a two meaning. First meaning is what? Mass of vessel. Second is what? Mass of water displaced. Now what is the relation for mass of water displaced? Density into volume of water displaced. And so density we denote by symbol rho, and volume of water displaced guys. See this symbol guys. This symbol is very important to us. In naval we are going to use this symbol, and meaning of this symbol is what? What is the meaning of this symbol? This symbol means what? Volume of water displaced guys. So before going further, what you have to do, please everyone write down this discussion. Now after writing down this question, please write down the meaning of this density and volume of water displaced guys. This inverse delta. Please everyone write down this discussion. Now after this discussion, write down this discussion of density if you don't know. If you don't know, if you know, no need to write down this discussion guys. You can skip this portion. But if you don't know, write down this discussion of the density. Now the next point that we are going to study is what? Coefficient of, we need these concepts guys. In upcoming discussion we should know all these concepts. Coefficient of water plane. What is the next point that we are going to study? Coefficient of water plane. And how we denote coefficient of water plane? We denote coefficient of water plane by what? CW. So what is the CW guys? CW will be equal to what? AW. What is the CW? AW divided by what? Length into breadth. That is meant by coefficient of water plane. So CW means what? Coefficient of water plane. What is the meaning of AW? AW means what? We have seen already, area of water plane. What is the area of water plane, guys? We have seen what is meant by water plane in our basic discussion. So this is what area. So what is meant by AW, guys? We have seen AW. L means length of the ship and B means breadth of the ship. So that is meant by coefficient of the water plane. So here, so this is what our discussion of the coefficient of the water plane, that is CW. CW will be equal to what? AW divided by what? L into B. So this is what a coefficient of water plane. So before going further, please everyone write down this discussion of coefficient of water plane. Now after this discussion of coefficient of water plane, next is what? Coefficient of block. Give the next heading, coefficient of block. And how we denote coefficient of the block, guys? We denote C suffix B. What? Suffix, guys. What is the meaning of suffix? Suffix means at the bottommost. At the bottommost, guys. So suffix C suffix B, or sometimes subscript also. Some people may suffix, some people may subscript. So CB will be equal to what? What is the relation for block coefficient, guys? What is the relation for block coefficient? Relation for block coefficient, CB will be equal to what? Volume of water displaced, that is this symbol, volume of water displaced, this symbol, guys, divided by what? Length, breadth, length of the ship, breadth of the ship, into D. What is the meaning of D, guys? D means draft. We have seen this also, guys, in drawing. Or another relation for that one, guys, what? Displacement delta divided by what? Length, breadth, draft into density of water, guys. It may be water, may be fresh water, sea water, river water. So guys, the density generally they will give in the question. So this is the another relation, coefficient of the block, guys. So please everyone write down this discussion of the coefficient of the block.